Welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in. We're feeling peace together now. The 81st live stream in a row where we get together every morning and feel peace together. And I invite you, if this serves you, please click the like button, subscribe, share this with a friend who just may benefit from the story of Mark that I'm going to share with you today. I recently had a session with a client that we'll just call Mark. And Mark's a pretty sharp young man. He's been diagnosed with PTSD, and so he's got a lot of stuff that he's working with. But we focused on what made him late for our session. He was very frustrated that he was late. He was angry with himself that he had allowed a certain situation to result in behavior that did not serve him well. So the situation is that Mark, before our session, was just going to run into work real quick, do 30 minutes of work very quickly, get it done, and then leave. But there were two of his coworkers there, and Mark, those folks seem to know how to push Mark's buttons. And they said some things to him that he got angry about, and he forgot about the original task. And 3 hours later, he had spent a lot of time thrashing around, had gotten his original task done, but had just spent a lot of energy and a lot of stuff that he didn't anticipate on his day off. So I invited Mark to step into this situation just enough from this safe place with just him and I to step into this situation and notice where the sensations that he was experiencing lived. And he noticed that they lived from the left part of his brain all the way down to his heart. Yeah, from his head to his heart. I suggested that he could be grateful for this part of him because he knows that every part of us, physical, internal, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, all our parts have a positive purpose or intent. And we can be grateful for them. Now, obviously, this part is exhibiting a behavior that does not serve Mark well, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a good purpose. And you'll find out why as we go through what Mark experienced in just the first part of this session. So we asked the part, what do you want? And Mark heard back, I'm going to show them. I'm going to give them as good as I get it. And then we asked the part to step into what it would be like for him to have shown them, to have actually given as good as he got. Just have this part feel what it's like to have what it wants. And he did. And then we asked the part, now that you have what you want, what do you want that is even deeper, even more important? Now, this is going to sound a little weird, but what Mark heard back from this part of him that was all tensed up and was going to show them, he heard whoosh. That's right, whoosh. We don't try and analyze things. We just let the part tell us what it wants, and we invite the part to experience whoosh just the way it wants. And when it did, and we asked it again, what do you want that's even deeper, even more important? This is where it gets kind of funny. It said, yippee, I want to play. So here was again a part that was all wrapped up in showing them and angry and 3 hours of thrashing. It wanted yippee and play. And then, once it felt that, it wanted things like helping others, doing something that is worthwhile, happiness, peace, and what we call the core state, what the part truly wanted that was not dependent on anyone or anything, was the word, the label, but the something that Mark felt with his whole being, and I'll tell you how I knew in just a moment, but the word was oneness. Now, how did I know that this was the state, that there was nothing even deeper for this part? I watched Mark relax his body. When he was starting up, he was all tense. And as we progressed with giving the part what it wants, his body relaxed. He let out huge sighs of relaxation. Just because when we give our parts the opportunity to experience what they want, they can relax. And they can serve us better. Now, there's several more parts to the session, but probably the most important part is this next one where we go back up and we ask the part, well, now that you've experienced this oneness and that you can step into this oneness anytime you want, how does this change things like, I'm going to show them, I'm going to give as good as I get it? Well, as you might imagine, when the part is feeling oneness, the very perfection of what it wants, the idea of giving as good as it gets or showing someone else is absolutely silly. It makes no sense. We went through several more portions of the exercises, and Mark left that session with this part that felt that it had to do certain things, get certain things, to prove certain things, with more choices. And Mark knows that even though he's been diagnosed with this or that when he chooses to know that he has parts that desire certain things, that he can work with those parts and be grateful and let them show him the way to this oneness that he desires. So now, let's step into this what I like to call the simultaneous peace. And you could use oneness. You could use any other word that you like to just notice that which is in, around, and throughout all. This oneness, peace, love, stillness, spirit, whatever you want to label it, notice that you don't have to do certain things or get certain things, that it is always available now. Now. And I invite you, as you go through your day, and you experience people who know how to push your buttons, or situations that may cause you a bit of upset, I invite you to step into this peace, this oneness, and allow it to guide you to your best living today. I do hope this serves you, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.